You join me at a tremendously exciting moment. It's into your head, number 599 for Wednesday. We've a lot to get on with today. Items that need to be attended to, issues that need to be addressed, topics. Oh, topics. We've got lots and lots of topics. We're positively booming to the seams with topics. We've got topics coming out of out of this mouth. This mouth has seen a lot in its time, I can tell you. If this mouth had eyes and ears, I can tell you, it would be like one of those walls that they talk about when they say if walls had ears. Well, walls don't have ears, and if they did, they'd be useless because they don't have a wall is an inanimate object. You can feed as many sound waves as you want into it. You can even attach an artificial ear or a genetically modified one onto the wall, but it won't be any use of it to it because it doesn't have a brain. A wall does not have a brain, so let's not be unrealistic here in our expectations. Surely the Christ holding your house up is enough. You're never happy if that wall came along and started holding up the whole sky. You'd say, oh, that's no use. That wall hasn't contributed anything to culture or scientific advancement of this society. All it does is sit around holding things up with its very height and structure. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. We're too jaded in today's world. If someone came along now and said, oh look, I've created an exact replica of the entire universe in the same scale to people, some critic will come along and say that's a derivative. That's very derivative. There's no originality. He's just basically copied the entire universe, duplicated it somehow. There's no originality or artistic merit in that. And then, of course, they put it on display somewhere in some museum, and no one will come and see it because they've read the newspapers. The fella in the paper says it's a derivative pile of crap, so we're not going to go and see that. We'll go and see the real world instead. If I want to see the entire universe, I don't have to go and see a replica of it in a frigging museum. I can go and see the real thing just by stepping outside of it. Although, can you do that? You can't step outside of the universe, so frankly we could do a replica of it so we could have a look. The same reason why you have globes. You have a globe of the earth sitting on your desk there. That's because although you have access to the real version, you can't look down upon the real version unless you fly out into space. And let's be honest, when's that going to happen? I don't know. Not anytime soon, I can tell you, unless you manage to raise enough money for a ticket on Mr. Branson's intergalactic space thing that he's making. Has that started yet? I don't know. Richard Branson, the Virgin fella, he's doing some sort of space flight program where you can, if you're a millionaire, you can buy tickets out into space, and you can buy return tickets. I'm sure he's probably, I don't know, he's probably raising money by charging extra for soft drinks and all sorts of in-flight magazines. I don't know. Anyway, hello and welcome to the show. Two cats walk into a bar. One of the cats straight away goes up to the bar counter, sits himself up on a stool in front of it, and peers over the counter at the selection beverages on offer. Well, presumably on offer. They appear to be on display in see-through fridges. At least the front of the fridges are see-through. The backs may well not be. But if you put a frigging window in the front door of your fridge, you can be damn sure to Christ as hell that any cat who comes in there is going to assume that that's on display with a view to you offering it on sale to them at the price of your choosing. And by law, incidentally, you're supposed supposed to have the price on display at the entrance. So unfortunately, that's not much use to a cat. A cat can't read, so the cat sits there peering through the windows of the fridges at the beverages on offer. There's some brown stuff in a bottle with writing on it. There's some other brown stuff in a bottle with writing on it. There's some further brown stuff, albeit of a slightly different shade of brown in a can. How he knows it's brown, I don't know. He doesn't. He's assuming because he sees a brown can, and he assumes, he's a cat. He doesn't know everything about everything. You can't be expected to know everything about everything in this world, especially if you're not part of this world. Technically, he is part of this world, but he's from a different underground civilization, the cat community. He's not from the human community, so really he's not a part of our civilization. He's a tourist within it. You can be a tourist within your own country if you're visiting a different branch of society, a different society basically. There's the cat society there, and there's the human society there, and although they occupy the same space, it's like they might as well be two different dimensions, two different sides of the same spoon, one of which curves inwards, the other of which curves outwards, because really only the same side of the spoon just seen from the other side. It's not really that different at all. But of course a cat can't get its head around that. It probably could if it wanted to, but that would use up all its brain capacity, and it would never be able to catch any food or figure out how to get up on a stool in a bar like our hero today. Or is he a hero? I suppose that remains to be seen. Depends on how this story pans out. Does he do something heroic, or does he just sit there becoming an alcoholic in another society? I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I make this stuff up as I go along. I haven't written this in advance. I do have some pre-prepared cat bar stories that I wrote many years ago, but you won't hear me reading them out today here, I can tell you. And if you ever do, I'll make it quite clear from the tone of my voice that I'm reading them rather than improvising them as I go along, because I don't want to con you, the humble and ignorant listener, mislead you into the nature of the preparedness of the content herewith. Oh, incidentally, that reminds me, Friday is the 600th episode of Into Your Head. It's absolutely fucking fantastic. Well, it will be. It'll be the 600th episode extravaganza stuff. An extravaganza of stuff. Stuff is to be celebrated, as far as all stuff should be celebrated, not of its own volition, but if you put stuff together in a big mound, if you get a big mound, for example, of stuff and put it on top of a mountain somewhere, that'll reach up into the skies. That'll be like a giant pile of crap standing on the shoulders of a giant, older, more natural mountain of crap that's had millions of years to develop and reaching up to the skies. That's what they mean by standing on the shoulders of giants. It doesn't have to be a person. A mountain can be a giant, or of course you could smoke a joint and then the mountain could be a real giant, but not in the some would argue, although quite wrongly, I would say, so I won't reiterate their argument because I don't want to mislead you, the listener. It's confusing enough as it is, having to deal with all these original thoughts, all of which I've managed to squash into 5 minutes and 3 seconds. In fact, I need to piss now. Excuse me a moment.
Into Your Head.
Hello, it's me again. I'm back from my urination session, my non-recorded urination session on this occasion. I think I've moved on from the whole novelty of recording myself urinating, something I used to do a lot in the early days. If you want to hear the early days, subscribe to the Into Your Head reruns feed. See intoyourhead.com/archive. But no, don't really do that much recording of my urination anymore. It gets a bit old. old after a while. Not the urine itself, the concept gets old, simply by the passage of time. Passage of time heals no man. That's what they say. They're right about that. In fact, the more the time passes, the less healed you become. You get older and older and older, and then you collapse in a heap on the floor and you die. That's what we all have to look forward to here. We're all going to die. We're all going to. You might as well get used to it. You've had long enough now to get that into your thick skull. We're all going to die. You're going to die at some point. So am I. So is the world. The world in general is going to die. People are going to say, "Feck, had enough of this. Let's just let nature run its course. We'll let the sun explode into mountains of lava and light. Whatever hell else is going to happen. Then we'll just disappear off the face of the universe. There will be nothing left of us except a little spot like a dead fly on your windshield. And that'll probably disappear too, because there'll be no sun to illuminate it. Without light, you can't see anything, and without being able to see anything, there might as well not be any light at all. That's the whole irony of the situation. Shedding light on a topic is nothing if the topic is gone. You can't shed light on something that doesn't exist anymore. Professor Stephen Hawking hasn't been very forthcoming about this. No, I don't mean to attack the man, but he never comes out and says, Christ, we're all going to die. This is pointless. I'm going to sit here in my chair and just watch the whole world dying. There's nothing we can do about it. If I can't do anything about it, and I'm the most geniustical man known to the present generations, then you sure as hell can't do anything about it. No offence. That's what he'd say. Then we'd all say, oh, well, if Professor Stephen Hawking says that, then it must be true. Except he won't say that. He won't have the courage of his convictions, or else possibly he doesn't know. Maybe he's not as perfect as we all make him out to be. He's obviously short-sighted for a start. The man wears glasses, although does he? I can't remember now. Does Professor Stephen Hawking wear glasses? If he doesn't, then he's got some explaining to do, I can tell you. He's trying to make out that he's a perfect being. Hold on. Professor Stephen Hawking glasses. Stephen Hawking may lose distinctive computer voice. Hawking talking without his blinks. I can't see anything about it. There's all stuff fascinated about how he talks, but no one seems to worry about how he sees stuff, especially stuff that's not really to be seen. It's just concepts. You can't see a concept with your eyes, Professor Hawking. So if you're trying to make out by having glasses or not having glasses, this is having an effect on what you can and can't foresee, then you're misleading the population. Well, you're not misleading me, I can tell you. I see right through your crap. I can see right. I can see as the Who used to be say. I can see for miles and miles. I can see for miles and miles.
Hello, I'm Professor Stephen Hawking. I've learned everything I know from Into Your Head, except when it's about me. I kind of know that stuff already by default. And so can you. Just continue listening for details.
This week's episodes of Into Your Head are sponsored in part by Podcast LOL, a podcast at podcastlol.com. They flag it proudly as an unscripted podcast with no point or direction and shitty sound quality, but it's a lot more than that. I've listened to it. It's a number of gentlemen sitting around a table discussing a wide range of issues such as, for example, Patrick teabags other gamers in Halo. Angelo is making motorized bicycles and getting motorized skateboards from China. What else? What if there is a woman in the room when the two guys are blowing themselves? Now, I've read that out of context. I read the preceding part of that in the previous episode, but I don't want to repeat myself. I want to give them an original plug during each episode, because they're paying for this, for Christ's sake. If they're legal, it's not rape. That was one of their recent topics. Patrick squats over a plate of halal chicken and makes chicken nuggets. Mr. Wright's brother is a scab artist. What else? She had a what? Where? You never see fat Asian hookers. Fuck finals, man. I never studied for that shit. It was freshman year. Some Asian girl. Long story short. ... Now these are just guidelines. They shouldn't tell you anything, because they're meant to sell these are blurbs which they write to sell each episode. So if you know what any of those things mean, then that would defeat the purpose, because then you don't need to listen. But you do need to listen. You need to go to podcastlol.com and listen to this week's sponsors of Into Your Head, Podcast LOL podcast. It's a podcast that makes you LOL, as the young people say. LOL is a young people's thing. It means laugh out loud. Laughing is basically a thing you do where it's an involuntary reaction to something that amuses you or shocks you in some way and affects your emotions, and basically you find yourself laughing out loud rather than sobbing uncontrollably into your pillow, which I would maintain is controlled. If you're sobbing uncontrollably into your pillow, then you're intentionally muffling your sobbing, and therefore by definition you are controlling it, so it's not uncontrollably. But that's beside the point. Podcast LOL, podcastlol.com. Go there, listen to some episodes. I get addicted and tell them thanks for sponsoring Into Your Head and stuff, all the rest of it. Anyway, on with the show.
Into Your Head.
Monkey nuts. That's what they call them. They call them big, steaming, piss-eating, sword-swallowing, shit-stabbing buckets of monkey nuts. Although, is it the bucket that has the power or the monkey nut itself? That's the question. People don't put enough thought into this. The packaging that's in which something is can redefine what that thing achieves. For example, let me give you a real-life example of this. If you get a carving knife and you wrap it in one of them bits of cardboard with hard plastic on the front that's really difficult to open and has sharp corners, you could hurt yourself on that. You could make a perfectly safety knife far more dangerous just by its packaging, and that's not the knife's fault. It could be a perfectly safe and benign piece of cutlery, but just by adding that sharp stab-inducing plastic and cardboard corner to it, you could slash your wrists accidentally with that. I've hurt myself with paper. I've had paper cuts on my tongue, I've had paper cuts on my tongue. I've stabbed myself with the corner of a cooker door. What else have I done? Earlier in the year I fell into a corner of my dining room, filled a cat water bowl with blood from my own head, and then wandered off in a daze out into the garden before realising something had happened. Absolutely fucking fantastic. You can see a picture on the header image at intoyourhead.com if you're interested. What else was I going to say to you? I don't know. I need another piss now. This is one of the downsides of drinking coffee in preparation for a show. I need another piss, and I don't feel I've even got started yet. The subject matter so far has been substandard as far as I'm concerned. I hope it's better tomorrow when I record Friday's 600th episode extravaganza. Maybe I'm subconsciously saving myself for that. I don't know. Remains to be seen, doesn't it? Remains to be seen and not heard, as they used to say. They say remains should be seen and not smelt. That's why we bury them under the ground after coating them in some sort of mummifying materials. We get a professional mummifier to cover remains and stuff so that they don't smell, and then we shove them under the ground. Although then of course you can't see them, but you're not really meant to. You have a display up above the ground. You have a headstone and some flowers and things, and you look at them instead, because you say you can come here and visit the remains, but But if you want to look at her, would you want to look at her rotting corpse, or would you prefer to look at these rotting flowers and faded stone instead? And I know which one I'd pick, I can tell you. But apparently I'm in the minority, because most people bury their remains under the ground and just come and look at the flowers and stuff. But if that's the way you want it, so be it. Who am I to dictate to the rest of the world how they mourn their dead? Absolutely not. You do it your way, I'll do it my way, and we'll meet in the middle somewhere. We'll meet up the middle of the road. That's why they have dots in the middle of the road, because people get to the middle of the road in a panic, and they think back to what they've half learned from the rules of the road. They'll be walking across some big highway, and they'll come across these white lines, and they'll think, oh Christ, if I remember rightly, I'm not supposed to cross white lines. That's why they have broken white lines. So these people will go, oh, there's a gap in the white line there. I suppose it's probably legal for me to walk through that. Luckily, as if they didn't have that, then they'd just be stuck in the middle of the road forever, and never the twain shall meet. After running for a train, I don't know. That's stupid. What kind of crap is that? Honest, what kind of fucking... I'm going to go and have another piss now. That's what I'm going to do. You can stay here if you want and wait for the next segment to arrive. It'll probably arrive immediately after the end of this one. But just know that there'll have been a gap in real time during which I'll have been urinating, and then I'll have been washing my hands, and then possibly warming up this coffee. I don't know. That's the ironic thing. This coffee is going cold, but I'm pretty sure the urine that's going to come out is going to be warmer than the coffee. How that happens, I don't know. Does that mean I'm burning up inside? It's not really that hot a day out. It's standard Irish July day. It's been pissing rain all weekend. The sun is shining, but it's not really shining on anything. If you were to go out in that, you would find that it's cold sunshine. A cold heart that warms not even the coldest of... not even the... whatever. I'm not a frigging meteorologist. I can't be describing the weather here. Well, not that I'm not allowed to try. You can try anything. That doesn't mean you'll be able to do it. So have a bit of modesty and stop being over cocky and overconfident in yourself. There's such a thing as being overconfident. Of that you can be quite sure, but not too. Don't be too sure of that. You'll end up going for a piss right now, like me.
Do you ever shop at Amazon.com or Amazon UK? Get there through Neal's special Amazon links, and Into Your Head gets a generous cut. Every time. Just visit intoyourhead.com/offers every time you're about to buy anything on Amazon, and follow the special Amazon links to start shopping.
I know what you're thinking there. You're thinking, Christ, he spent half of today's show urinating. He also spent most of the opening segment doing this, whatever this is. He didn't explain it at the time. There was an unexplained sound effect emanating from whatever he was fidgeting with at the time. Well, I'll tell you what it was. I was fidgeting with this. I didn't realise it was so loud at the time. But no, I was basically doing this throughout the whole opening introductory paragraph of today's show, and I apologise profusely for any disruption it may have caused to your listening experience. But no, this is real life, and I do real things while I'm recording this. This isn't in some studio in a basement in central Dublin somewhere. No, this podcast is made by real people in a real home, in a real place, in a real town in the middle of Ireland, with real farm animals within 10 minutes walk of here. Admittedly not mine, but no, this is a real place. It isn't some frigging MTV base sound studio walls with a frigging green screen behind it. There's no green screen behind here, I can tell you. Oh no, there's magnolia walls, although we'll be doing something about that during this summer. We're going to rid this home of magnolia. Not that there's anything wrong with magnolia, but if you've ever had the good fortune to buy a new new house, you'll find that within your first 5 years of living there, you basically you develop a hatred for anything magnolia. It's automatic, pretty much. The builders pour magnolia over everything before the concrete has even set. So you have magnolia everything, and I'm damn well sure to Christ as hell going to be quite happy. Oh, anyway, this thing, it's basically one of those cheap USB iTelephone cables, except it rolls up into a springy thing, and I've been rolling it up and out and out and up and up and out. I should probably stop now, because it's even annoying me. I listened back to the initial segment, and that irritated me, I can tell you. All I could hear was me going, like I was talking in some sort of African clicking language like you hear about on South Park. I don't even know whether that's real. I don't think so. I think it's just a cartoon. Do they have clicking languages in Africa? I don't know. It doesn't matter now, because everyone between the age of 10 and 30 in America now believes that they do, and if enough people believe that something is true, then that pretty much makes it effectively true, or it may as well be true. Let's have a look now. African clicking languages. Let's see if we can dig up some facts about this issue, instead of just learning everything from freaking Cartman, wherever his name is. What's your man with the anorak on that? Cartman Jones. I don't know. Cartman. Anyway, clicking language. I suppose Morse code could be a clicking language. Although I suppose clicking is only one regional dialect of Morse code. There's others as well. Click language and the San Bushman people. YouTube. Oh, there we go. There's a YouTube video of the click people with the click language. Let's have a look at this now. Can you hear that? I don't know. I have no idea whether you can hear that. You can't now, because I've stopped it. I'm forwarding it to... it's just some... Here we go. Play... That's why you don't put videos on the podcast. You can't frigging see them, and I can't frigging concentrate on what I'm looking for in them, because I'm busy trying to fill up the silences with speech, and you can't concentrate on what you're supposed to be listening to, because you don't know, because I haven't found it yet. So no, we leave that aside. We leave that aside for now, and for the rest of it, until such time as something causes me to talk about clicking language again. This, for example, is this a clicking language? I don't know. Clickety, click. Isn't there a clicking instrument called the maracas? I suppose that's clicking enough for you. And if you do, I suppose if you do maracas, just maracas, they say, oh, he's singing without instruments. What's that thing where you sing without Acapello? He's doing Acapello clicking language. That could be confused with a maracas solo. Or maracas even frigging clicking thing. There's probably some instrument that's a clicking thing anyway. There's probably people who use this thing that I'm playing with now as a clicking thing. Isn't there there's that pop group called Stomp that does all they get out their broomsticks and their legs, and they just make noises with their bodies and their broomsticks, and they turn that into tunes. They probably could use one of these headphone thing. If you're from the group Stomp and you want to get in on this, I got this on eBay from one of the regional Irish sellers. So it's about $2.99. It's a pile of crap for its intended purpose, but if you wanted to do some clicking as part of your Stomp group, I suppose you could use this if you wanted to teach your kids in school about South African clicking languages. I suppose you could go on YouTube and find something informative, or else you could just say, listen to this, kids, what do you think this might be, and have them start a discussion, have them discuss and debate it, and help their curiosity reach a new realm of because you can't have too much curiosity, as far as I know. Although that's yet to be tested. Someone should test whether it's possible to have too much curiosity, because they say curiosity killed the cat. Something made him fat. But no. Can you have too much curiosity in a non-cat? That's the question. I've only ever killed one cat in all the time that phrase is being used. It's never developed into curiosity has killed millions of cats. In fact, when this phrase first came into use, it had only killed one cat. Or maybe that's because there was only one cat, and that's why they say the cat rather than a cat. There was a time when they thought, maybe they meant curiosity killed the species cat, and that's why they say curiosity killed the cat. But we know for a fact that that's not true. The cat hasn't been killed off entirely. It's far from extinct. In other words, that phrase turns out to be a load of crap. Curiosity didn't kill the cat at all. Nothing killed the cat. There have been cats that have probably been killed as a result of curiosity. It wasn't frigging. They haven't been blown into extinction. Quite the opposite. In fact, I've got 8 cats, I can tell you. Curiosity doesn't stop them anything. In fact, it probably curiosity kills birds. That's what it does in my house. Although it could be argued that my house is not the normal average house. Although I could argue quite dishonestly, as it happens, that it is. You're allowed to that's how debate works, You're allowed to, you pick something and you decide to argue with it as an exercise in debate. Doesn't mean you agree with it, but you take that side as a sporting thing. It's just like in boxing. When you punch someone in the face, it doesn't mean that you want to kill them by punching them in the face and giving them brain damage. It just means you're trying to win a fictional war between you and them for the purpose of gaining points and praise and trophies and medals and honour by pretending to want to kill them. But if you actually do kill them, then you get kicked out. That's frowned upon in most normal societies. They say you can box him in the head and pretend to kill him, but you can't actually kill him because that's considered bad. You can be too successful in boxing. That's the problem. People don't like it because they're damn fucking hypocrites. Anyway, good morning.
Sit, Rhodey, sit. Good cat.